Hey, shalom everyone, this is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda Ben Shomer, and welcome to the Daily Drosh. Today's Daily Drosh, I want to take you to Leviticus and just share with you something that just kind of jumped out at me as I started reading the book of Leviticus. For the past 2 or 3 years, I've been reading through the book of Deuteronomy over and over and over through different and various translations. And I just felt led to move on to a different book of Torah and just kind of immerse myself in it. And I chose Leviticus. And it says in Leviticus chapter 1, and I'm reading from the Tree of Life version, it says, "Now Adonai called to Moses and spoke to him out of the tent of meeting, saying, Speak to Bnei Israel," that is, the children of Israel, "and tell them, when any one of you brings an offering to Adonai, you may present your offering of livestock from the herd or the flock." So something just really jumped out at me because, okay, you got herd and flock, but you move on to verse 14 and it talks about birds and specifically pointing out turtle doves and young pigeons. So what, why these animals? Why the livestock? Why the herds? Why these particular birds? I know the obvious answer would be because they're clean animals, and you would be correct. But something really struck me about these animals, whether they be cattle, whether they be sheep or goats, whether they be, these pigeons or turtle doves. Not only are they clean animals, but think about this. They are domesticated animals. They are social animals. And the sacrifice is supposed to represent us and supposed to replace us. So there's many parallels that we can draw. And, for instance, if it's from the sheep. Sheep are one of the dumbest animals on the face of the earth. You don't see a wild flock of sheep out in the wilderness and out in the woods surviving. You just don't, because they would not survive. They need a shepherd. They are domesticated. They need somebody to oversee them and look out for them so that wolves and other predators don't get them. They're one of the dumbest animals on the face of the earth. They will drown on dry land if you allow them to. That's why Psalm 23 says that he leads me beside still waters, because if they were rushing waters and a sheep's nose is parallel with its mouth and it dips in to drink into the rushing waters, the water would go right up the sheep's nostrils and into its lungs, and it would drown standing on dry ground, and it wouldn't know not to drink rushing waters. It wouldn't know that it's drowning. And so that's like us. Sometimes we don't know we're lost. Sometimes we don't know we're in danger. Sometimes we don't know enough to watch out for ourselves or to take care of ourselves. And we need a heavenly Father. We need a heavenly shepherd to look out for us. But, the herd and the flock, they're social creatures. They all congregate in groups. And God created us, and he said that it is not good for man to be alone. So he created a helpmeet. He created Eve. So we are created to socially interact with one another. We are created to be social creatures. And I think that's one of the differences that stood out to me is that they are domesticated and they are social creatures. You're not sacrificing a wolf. You're not sacrificing a wild boar. Not only they're unclean animals, but they're wild animals. Not only that, but they're carnivores. And these animals, birds or flock or herds, they are herbivores, and therefore they are clean animals. And even the turtle dove and young pigeons, they are social creatures. There's a social dynamic to them. They gather into groups. And so these sacrifices represent us. And so from the herd and from the flock, and then these particular birds. And when I saw the turtle dove and young pigeons, I immediately thought of Yeshua's parents. When they made the appropriate sacrifice after Yeshua was 8 days old and after Miriam went through her time of ritual cleansing and purity, they sacrificed turtle doves, if I'm not mistaken. That is a poor man's sacrifice. And I just kind of thought that was interesting there. So, as you think of the sacrifices and think how Yeshua took our place, just think about the herd and the flock and the birds, and think of the parallels between the two and how these animals represent us and the characteristics that they have represent us. And that's why they were used as sacrifice, not only because they were clean animals, but because they were domesticated and social creatures. Anyway, just a little thought that I want to throw out there for you for the Daily Drosh. Thanks for watching. Shalom, Shavua Tov. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press the like button as well as the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and the notification bell that'll let you know every time I make a new video. And don't forget to share this with a friend. Also, visit our website at abrahamsdescendants.com. Thanks. Shalom.